Conference down here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. I've got the distinct pleasure once again of interviewing another good friend and colleague in the industry, Mr. Tom Meehan, who, by the way, just was promoted to president of Control Tech. Congratulations for that, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, great seeing you, man. Yeah. So, clear 2022 back in Orlando. What do you think?
Awesome turnout. I mean, I thought last year when I was here, it was amazing, and I think the biggest turnout I think we've ever seen here.
Yeah,
right?
almost 700.
Yeah. Huge. The room was packed in the morning.
Oh,
I mean, standing room only.
Yeah.
Which is a good problem to have. The sponsorship here is phenomenal. All the solution providers, a lot more than I've seen in the past. So really, all in all, the turnout's amazing.
Yeah, we've doubled the hall size this year. I mean, the hall size is as big as the actual main session, general session. Yep. So a lot of great solution providers sponsoring and supporting us at Clear, as well as our retail Fusion Center, which is a little bit of a twist because usually the Fusion Center is law enforcement.
Yep.
Here, it's retail. So, great turnout, 700 people. What'd you think of the opening ceremony?
I thought it was amazing, and so I had a colleague here that had never been, and it was really kind of understanding why Clear is different and the collaboration between law enforcement and retail, both federal, state, and local. So it really was I hate to use the word special, but it was great. You know, it was really awesome, and I was happy to get some pictures, but talk about going all out, right?
Yeah.
Like a really great opening. And it set the stage, even after the opening, just Ben going up and talking and being in the room and just seeing how packed it was. And I had to stand. There was nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
That was just, the energy was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is our biggest year ever, having been with the organization since the very beginning, and just seeing us go from, we always said, we'd be happy if 100 people came,
Yep.
and now we're almost 700, and then the Fusion Center and the doubling the size of the vendor hall and just seeing everybody out. Some of these folks I don't get to see, until next year. So that's always been great as well. So, I had chills, to see it all come together yesterday was just amazing to me. All right, so new president of Control Tech.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what's going on.
There is a lot going on. I mean, even just this week, if it wasn't Clear, I probably wouldn't be here. So we launched in our tamper evident bag division, probably the most disruptive product that you could ever do in that division, which is the first ever 90% post-consumer recycled tamper evident cash bag. So in banking, financial service, retail, sustainability is a real challenge. And our company's been around for 50 years, and our staple product is a plastic bag that protects money.
Right.
So we spent the last almost 3 years saying, how can we really make an impact? So this line, we released it officially yesterday. So I was here.
Congratulations.
So all over the world, we were talking about this. And what it does is it helps, the environment from both our standpoint and the end user standpoint. And it's garbage. Like, we're taking actual garbage and making a tamper evident package that's still the same security features. But when we're talking to a lot of our clients, customers, friends, in the industry, like, we're friends. Like, it's amazing that we changed our light bulbs, we did the thermostats, we've done anything. There's nothing else we can do.
Right.
And so it's a huge step in something that we don't talk about a lot. But
it's a kind of a nominal item.
Yeah,
you don't think about that. I mean, you think about it for the security and the protection of the cash and all that, but you don't really, that's innovative.
It's huge. And I thank you for saying that, because one of the things I always say is, when we think of innovation, it's always about the new thing and the gadget. And I'm like, no, really, can you take things that exist today and make it better for everyone? So it's a huge win in an item that a lot of times people don't think about. Yeah. But when we sell hundreds and hundreds of millions of these to customers.
Yeah.
So the impact is substantial.
Right.
And substantial from a big bank, from a retailer standpoint. And we at Control Tech, one of the things I've really talked about is how do we kind of create this mission of can we be sustainable? Can we get things transferred over? And not the feel-good message like, no, we know that we make an impact. So it was a lot more work than I think probably it looked at. But at the end of the day, we got the result we wanted to in our tamper evident bag division, which is almost 50 years old, very long-standing customers in the retail and the financial industry. And then just a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
Lots of travel, lots of great things. We've had tons of success in EAS and RFID, both within retail and outside of retail, and then trying to still stay involved in everything in the industry. So like an organization like Clear, it's not so much about coming here and setting a table up, it's about how do we support the industry that I love and I lived in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
So if you're not from this industry, sometimes it's hard to understand that, a lot of these folks, and I'm looking around the room, the retail Fusion Center is awesome. These are people that literally I've known my whole entire adult life, and some even longer, and watched them. We all grew together, right? Like, it's funny. Someone even, we were talking about you, and like, I remember when it's 20 years ago, and it's wild to say that, but we're kind of a big family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are a big family.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, and some of us, the guys from Dick's Sporting Goods, I was at Sports Authority, but in this space, in this world, ORC, we're not competitors in the sense of we're not trying to win sales or steal sales. We're trying to stop a criminal who's coming to me and coming to you. So you're right. It is a huge family, and it is like a family reunion every year. I mean, it's just like, it's like a glove. You just hop right back into it and go. So we have a great time putting on this show. It's a lot of work. This year, a little bit different with Calibration Group coming in, taking over certain functions, features of the show, which was a huge weight off a few of our shoulders. But at the same time, we're all sitting there, okay, we got to do this, we got to go do that. And, remember we did this last year, and just coming up with all those things, and then all of a sudden the stress comes back. It's like, oh yeah, now I remember how this feels. So this was a huge show this year. The content. You had the Deputy Assistant Director from HSI here, Raul. You had Chief of Staff here. You had Chief of Detectives from Chicago PD. Just some amazing presenters. Talking about, how the challenges that we're facing on the retail side and the challenges that law enforcement is facing as well, they're committed to break down any barrier, any wall that the people who are doing the actual work run into. And that's huge to hear that from senior leaders at law enforcement, both at the federal, local levels.
Yeah, I think one of the things about Clear that is very different, and Wade Holman joined me as our Director of Sales in Canada, and he had never been, is that the engagement is very different. So as a solution provider, I know a lot of folks, so it's more seeing people connecting and really catching up. But the engagement from the law enforcement side and the retail side, people coming up and really genuinely interested in what you do and asking for feedback and saying you saw this, it is a different vibe. It's completely different. And, you have high-level federal that just come and walk around just conversating, talking to you for no other reason than just to get to know you, to create that networking. So from a networking perspective, this is a different type of event. And the activities, I think the entertainment is great, but even just in the room, there's a different level of energy. I think the Fusion Center with the retailers is a phenomenal idea. It really brings inclusion for everybody in the room. And, I got to see some folks, that worked with me at Bloomingdale's 20 years ago that are now at Rite Aid and CVS. And it's like, the industry, you couldn't be any different, right, than Bloomingdale's. But the industry is the same. We're all trying to solve the same challenge. Organized retail crime really is very similar. So,
Well, the interesting thing, too, about the solution provider space, especially in this world, is that, the solution providers, first of all, unlike other shows, solution providers can actually attend all the sessions. So that's really important, because I think that not only gives them an opportunity to see what's going on out there, to maybe deliver something, a little bit better product or a different product, or maybe they have a solution that they never thought that solution could do anything for this space, but all of a sudden that light bulb goes off and boom, here we are, hey. And that's the key. The solution provider can connect with that person that's talking, or that connect the person that's asking questions, and actually, say, hey, come see me, because I think we have something that you can use. And it's not a sales pitch. It's truly, I want to deliver you a solution, and let's figure this out together type thing. So that's really big. And, it's funny, yesterday afternoon, I was walking around and I doing live streams all day, and I'm walking around to a few vendors, and I actually walk up to them and I was like, there's a really interesting session going on right now. They're like, oh, I didn't know we could go to those. I was like, oh yeah, you can attend everything here. So I think that's really big, because when you look at some of the other shows, understandably, whatever, that's their thing. They don't want to let people in, the vendor community into the session for whatever reason. That's fine. Nobody's doing sales pitches or anything in there. So, but I get it. But here, totally different. We want you engaged in what's going on in the main room and in the breakouts.
Yeah, the collaboration and the inclusion, like that is a really good point when you're going. And I travel every week to all different shows. And first of all, different for me because sometimes if I can't go to a session, I'll be like, the guy who's talking, I hired him. Like he's a
right.
And so it's a little different. But that's a really good point of just being able to sit next to someone, listening to the challenges they have, puts a different perspective.
Right.
And you're part of the group. Like that's kind of the big thing here is, like I said, the family is everybody's part of it.
Right.
Everybody is appreciative, and it's not. This isn't a big machine. This isn't an event machine.
Yeah.
This is about organized retail crime and how do we collaborate and how does law enforcement and retail get together.
Yeah.
And at least up till now, it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
That's what the mission has been.
Yep.
And even the events, like everybody's together.
Yeah.
Everybody's together, and whether it doesn't matter what level you are, it doesn't matter. You can be a police officer to a chief, or you can be a store detective to a number one, and that is very different. There aren't many. I don't think there are any shows really that are like that. If you really step back and say it's open to everybody, and I think that's a really important thing. And folks, we were talking to some local people, some people that came in, but again, that inclusion, that learning, and getting just to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just as simple as
absolutely.
I made a new contact.
Yep.
It's a big deal.
We got newcomers to the ORC field. I mean, brand new guys that and women that have just started in essentially entry level kind of ORC investigator level. I'm up in the hospitality room last night managing things, getting people where they need to be and everything. All of a sudden, the chief of detectives walks in, Chicago PD, to grab a beer and have chat with folks. And I see him sitting in the corner. He's talking to two brand new entry level investigators, just like hey. I'm here too. Let's talk it out. And you have things going on in Chicago. We're here to support you, and just having a real casual conversation. Where else can you do that? It's not like you can walk into the chief of detectives in Chicago PD and just sit down and have a conversation with them.
Huge learning moment for someone like that.
Yep.
And the reality is they made a real contact, for it will really change the perception, especially in that market. Because we all know that's how it works. The networking really makes a difference, especially with ORC. You have to have relationships. You have to be able to pick the phone up, and you have to know who's who. I mean, and that is the place here. And we're in Florida, right? Hurricane, sort of, right? Kind of.
Yeah. Once again, we've got a hurricane. We avoided hurricanes last year. We thought November, no hurricanes in Florida in November. That's when it stops. No. It's Myrtle Beach all over again. Probably a little bit nicer venue, but it's Myrtle Beach all over again. So, whatever. Whatever. We're going to continue on. As long as the lights stay on, we're good. If the lights go off, then we'll figure it out from there. But I don't anticipate any problems. It's a wimpy storm anyway, right?
Yep. That's what I was going to say. It's not even... I was in the Uber, and he said, this isn't a real hurricane.
No, this is not.
That's what he said. I said, what's
Category 1?
Yeah, it's fine. He said, we're not even going to tape the windows up.
Yeah, it's a little wind.
That's what he said.
Just a little wind.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, thank you so much. Great seeing you.
Good to see you as well.
Wish we could see each other more throughout the year, but we're both very busy running around the country. So maybe we'll have to sync up calendars or something. Where are you going to be this week? And we'll have dinner or something. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But it is great to see you. Thank you for having me. Oh, I appreciate absolutely. Thanks for joining us, man. I really appreciate it. Great. All right. Thank you. All right, everybody. Once again, Clear Nation, this is JC signing off from Orlando, Florida at the 2022 Clear National Conference. Thanks for joining us. Hey, stay tuned. We have a lot more content to bring you, a lot more interesting interviews. Stay tuned for that, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.